Hey everyone, I'm Ultimate456, you're the Ultimates, and welcome to episode 74 of Less Platinum Danganronpa 1, 2, Reload. That's right, at least I did, once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? Then, is it really true you lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point, my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey,
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you.
However,
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind? One of us? If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However,
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but... Why did that just happen?
listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. Alright. Your ability, what is it? You mentioned your ability. My ability. What everyone should have known from me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Ha ha ha. Yes! Finally, another reveal. Of course Kyoko is the ultimate detective. It all fits. The reason she was able to be comfortable around dead bodies, the reason that she always knew the answer before anyone did. The very first case, Leon was the killer. Why? The numbers on the numbers that were actually letters sitting behind Sayaka. The second case, she knew Mondo killed Chihiro because Mondo called Chihiro a dude, and she believed that because he knew that that Chihiro was actually a man, Mondo had to be the killer. The third case was what's a bloody name? Celeste. Although that one is tricky because the hint in that one is what Celeste says about it's a shame that those guys died, and the player has to kind of try and realize that she technically shouldn't know at that point that two of them are dead. But it's hard to realize. But I can't remember what it is that Kyoko did in that case that makes her able to work that one out. And then finally Sakura's case, I wonder if she worked that one out too. Well, Byakuya kind of prevented her from doing any investigating, but I'm sure there was something that she worked out in that one. Anyway, if you guys know, post in the comments. I think it's fine to obviously talk about that stuff now that it's happened. So yeah, she's the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So,
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. Another reveal! What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad. I realized that was not Americanized, but yeah. Is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains... When Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved, I'll find a way.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
I,
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
no matter what.
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on?
I,
My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
however,
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
so,
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized. Whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we'd ever imagined. What do you mean?
so,
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. Alright, let's keep talking. We got a lot to go through here. Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there were no cameras and no monitors. X, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means... Everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night? I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases. Just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. By the way, if Makoto's room was locked, she obviously had the Monokuma's tool to get in, just in case, just to cover off that potential plot hole there. I ran to your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
Their murder was disguised and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So, all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true, if it means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think that the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair?
It would seem
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're,
indeed.
make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Chapter 5, 100 Mile Dash, Pain of a Junk Food Junkie. Over. Surviving Students, 6. Alright. You received the Dream Island rocket present. Hooray! Yes, I will absolutely save my data. 5 alive. Alright, well, that is the end of Chapter 5. And I think, even though this episode is a little short, obviously I've got to end it. because I don't want chapter 6 to start, right now. It'll start next episode. And fantastically, we get to listen to the awesome New World Order backing track. Yeah, so things are getting to the pointy end. We are so close now. We have chapter 6. I believe there's an epilogue. I haven't actually practiced chapter 6 quite yet, so I can't quite remember if there's an epilogue, but I'm pretty sure there is because there's also a prologue to this game. And yeah, I mean, stick around. The main story is not going to take too much longer to go through. Then we'll jump into the post game. I'll see how long that takes. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. I'm just going to have to get there and do it when I get a chance. And then we finish the very first Danganronpa game. So yeah, if you've been enjoying, make sure to hit that like button, leave me a comment, keep watching, and I really do hope that you enjoy the upcoming chapter and epilogue and the rest of the game. But I think I'll leave it there for now and yeah, let you guys go. Get a little bit of a shorter episode, so hopefully more time to do what you guys want to do. Alright, so I want to thank you all very much for watching episode 74 of Let's Platinum Danganronpa 1-2 Reload. My name is Ultima456. You are the Ultimates, and I'll see you next time.